And once again, welcome into the Oklahoman's video studio. I'm Dave Morris. It's the Rescue Rundown, our weekly update with the Central Oklahoma Humane Society. It's episode 70. Susanna Della Maddalena, CEO and President of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society, alongside me as always. Great to see you.
You too.
Last week we previewed an event you had this past weekend called My Furry Valentine, which brings in our guests who we will introduce shortly. How did that go?
It went really well. We actually found homes for about 102 or 103 dogs and cats over a 2-day period. And we had probably hundreds, 300 or 400 or 500 people waiting in line on Saturday morning.
You expected a big crowd, and it sounds like you got it.
We did. And people lined up early. They came as early as 5:30 in the morning to make sure that they would get one of these little guys.
And one of the little guys is right in front of us. His name is Boone. We are joined by Darren, Rochelle, and Peyton. Very nice to meet everybody. Thank you for your time for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Did you guys have plans to go by the My Furry Valentine event last weekend?
Not intentionally. We had talked about it, we discussed it all week, and we were actually on our way to Piedmont, and we just decided instead of going to Piedmont, we hung a left and went here.
Not your first time to adopt?
No, this is our second dog from the Oklahoma Humane Society.
So you have 3 total pets?
Yes.
And what made you decide when you made that left turn, not going to Piedmont, going back to 7500 Northwestern, what made you think, hey, we need to stick around?
We saw Boone in the window, and he was just so
Literally the doggy in the window.
adorable. So as we were sitting there waiting for about 3 hours in line, our daughter kept checking in the window to make sure he was still available.
You'd send Peyton over to the window, hey, go check, see if our animal's still there.
She pretty much hung out there.
Was this Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
So this was
We were
Saturday. Okay, so what time did you get there?
9:40ish.
We opened at
3
10.
3 hour wait, really.
We
So you guys were there before the doors opened.
Yes.
All right, so what do we know about Boone?
Boone is 3 months old. He is a Newfoundland mix, and he came to us from someone who couldn't keep him, and so we had him available and ready for the adoption event. And interestingly, this family came looking, and they saw him, and they really wanted a Newfoundland mix. So.
Well, educate us on Newfoundland mix, which I can't even say the word apparently. Large animal though, right?
Large. I mean, the purebred Newfoundland is going to be anywhere from 125 to 150 pounds at the largest. So they're like small bears. Yeah, and so, you know, we never know for sure how large they're going to get because we don't know what they're mixed with, but you can see by the size of his paws that he's probably going to get rather large.
And you guys are okay with that?
Yes. Yes.
But not everybody, right?
That
Typically, the large animals, it's not for everybody because not everybody could
Right.
maintain
I
them.
mean, you know, when you have a dog this size, ideally you want to have outdoor space for them, or minimally, if you don't have a lot of outdoor space, you want to have the ability to get them out, walk them, run them several times a day so that they're getting the exercise they need. Now, this breed happens to be kind of a couch potato breed, and so he will be
Do you have a large
active
couch?
active and playful, but he'll be kind of a couch potato.
2 of them.
So how does Boone fit in with the other 2? What's that dynamic been like so far? I guess it's just a couple days in, but
Yes. One of them is taking over as a motherly figure. The other one is I've got a new friend to run around the yard with.
but they all do get along just
Yes,
fine?
yes.
All right, very
And your
good.
little brother.
Peyton, how old are you?
11.
And where do you go to school?
I go to Crest Timbers.
Are you excited to have another addition to the family?
Yeah.
What made you, just looking at this dog, think, hey, I like this one?
Because he's fuzzy and he'll lay with me on the couch.
Redeeming qualities, right?
He'll watch SpongeBob.
He'll watch some SpongeBob with you? All right, very good. I see the OSU and I see the dog named Boone. Is there a correlation here?
I mean, that may have had something to do with it.
They gave him that name, and when we noticed that, I said, you know, like Boone Pickens Stadium in a text. He goes, I know I wasn't going to say anything.
He's like, yep, I did
It's meant
notice
to
that.
be.
All right, very good. Very great to meet you guys. Congratulations on the new edition. Every week we kind of go through a list of things on the Rescue Rundown, and this week Melinda Pribble, off camera, has provided us, along with Sue, a list of the 2016 community impact numbers. And what are we looking at in these numbers, Sue?
You know, we look every year to see that we're making progress in saving the lives of dogs and cats here in Oklahoma City. And, you know, we highly anticipated every year to see how we did. And exciting to see that we ended the year with what we call a live release rate of 70.3%. That means the percent of dogs and cats that are leaving the shelter alive. And what's really exciting about that is we've been working very closely with the city shelter for the last 9 years to come up with programs that can save more dogs and cats. 9 years ago, 30,000 dogs and cats entered the city shelter. Only 25% of them left alive. Today, we have about 24,000 that came in last year, and we're up to a little over 70%. And that's because, you know, we've really worked together actively to improve that situation.
That's an amazing improvement in less than 10 years, that it goes from 25% to 70%. You're looking at the numbers there. You attribute it to the relaunch of your relocation programs. What are those?
Yeah. We saw a slightly better live release rate for dogs than we did for cats. And one of the things we did last year, you know, every year we're looking at what we can do in terms of new programs to help more of these kiddos get out alive. And we introduced a relocation program. So we have 4 partners in other states. They're humane societies and SPCAs. They're all very capable of finding homes, and we send out every week a van load of dogs to them that are taken from the city shelter. Last year we did slightly over 1,500 dogs.
We had spoken about that on previous episodes of the Rescue Rundown. Perhaps they would go to a place somewhat distant, Minnesota perhaps. Is there a time frame on a dog, or is there a request on a dog? What determines, hey, this animal is going to relocate?
You know, we just go into the city shelter, we poll every day for our own adoption program, and then we also look at the dogs that are going to be suitable for our partners. They kind of like a variety of breed mixes and ages. Now we like my shoe. So, you know, we just go in and we think, you know, we just pull what we think they're going to like, and they love our dogs.
Briggy, you had you mentioned the numbers. How does Oklahoma City, we've talked about this a little bit, compare with the larger cities?
Mm-hmm. What's really kind of remarkable and not so great is that we have a really high intake for a city of our size. We have about 620,000 people in Oklahoma City, and as I said, we took in about 24,000 dogs and cats last year. And I always make the comparison to New York City, because you think about how big New York City is with 8.4 million people. They took in 29,000 last year. So it just shows you that we have, you know, a big problem here that we need to continue to work on. And, you know, every year we celebrate our improvements, but we're also really, really committed to continuing to push forward and continuing to improve that.
Well, it sounds like you have a very successful program going and a very successful partnership with the animal shelter.
It is, and it's very unique. I can tell you, I headed up PetSmart's foundation for 10 years, so I have a pretty good perspective on communities around the country. And it's something that we should be proud of here, because there are a lot of communities that are just stagnant. They stay where they are, they don't have great numbers, and what I think is really amazing about Oklahoma City is that, you know, this partnership came together, we have this commitment to make an improvement every year, and that's, I think, something unique about Oklahoma and Oklahoma City is just, you know, going for it and wanting to do it better. We should be proud of that.
You had seen there had been some stigmas people would think about the animal shelter. It's the pound, it's a catch and kill mentality, but a little bit different mentality here.
Yeah, I think that, you know, a lot of times people are afraid to go to city animal shelter because they have this perception that it's a, you know, icky place, that a lot of dogs and cats there, it's stinky, dirty, people aren't nice, you know, they're the pound, they're just going to catch them and kill them. And that's really not the case with our city shelter. They've done a lot of great work over there. They put in all new kennels last year. The staff is really, really dedicated, and they do a lot with the very, you know, scarce resources that they have to handle the number of dogs and cats that come into the shelter. So we really respect them. We think the work they're doing is admirable, and we encourage people to go down there because I think, you know, you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's not what you think it's going to be if you haven't been there.
Good stuff. Guys, we mentioned that this is the second time you've adopted from Central Oklahoma Humane Society. Why is that? Why not go to the animal shelter or go to a puppy mill or something like that. Why'd you guys decide to go to?
Well, personally, I think it's a great organization and what they're doing for the community and the animals. We're big dog lovers, and so it's just a great place. And they do a lot of great Facebook advertising.
See, that makes sense. Sure, that's where you encounter it. And by the way, by no means am I saying encouraging puppy mills. I'm just saying a lot of
No,
people,
yeah, they do.
those are options that people consider. So,
Yep.
well, fantastic. Guys, congratulations on the latest addition to the family. You mentioned it's like having another newborn in the house, right?
Yes, for sure.
Congratulations. It's great to meet you guys.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Best of luck over there at Cross Timbers, Peyton.
Thank you.
Best of luck with Boone. Sue, always great to see you.
You too.
Thanks so much for the time. More Rescue Rundown can be found on our website at newsok.com, as well as the Central Oklahoma Humane Society's website at okhumane.org.